All right, gentlemen, welcome to the Gird Up Podcast. My name is Charlie Ungemach, and this is the place where young men learn to be the men that God created them to be. Glad that you've joined us. This is super exciting. I'm wearing my Lutheran Vanguard of Wisconsin shirt today because I love Lutheran Vanguard of Wisconsin. If you're not familiar, they're an awesome high school marching band based in Wisconsin, pulling from Lutheran high schools all over the area. They do some wonderful things. I can honestly say large pieces of the man that I am today were developed in my time with Lutheran Vanguard of Wisconsin, both as a director and an adult, and as a student back in high school. Wonderful blessings for a lot of kids. I'm glad to see you guys back on the street. Glad to see you guys doing your thing. God's blessings to you all. You'll continue to be in my prayers. If you don't know anything about Lutheran Vanguard, go check them out. They do all kinds of awesome things. For the 4th of July, they're going to be in the Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha area. So if you live in that area, go check out the Lutheran Vanguard of Wisconsin. Now, big shout out to our sponsors as well. Thank you for being a part of what we do here. If you want to be a sponsor of the podcast, reach out to me. Let me know. I'll get you in. Now, I am tired. My back's a little sore. My butt's really sore. And I'm not feeling as fresh as I sometimes do on a day like today. And that's because today I tried something that I am bad at. Now, I love lifting weights. I am kind of good at lifting weights, depending. I'm kind of strong. I'm not like one of the strongest people in the world. I'm not even as strong as I used to be. But I am stronger than your average bear, if it's a small bear. Anyway, I really do enjoy weightlifting. It's something that I've put a lot of work into over time. It's my preferred exercise, right? I just really enjoy it. I enjoy being able to shape and mold my body. I've got to get the diet locked in so I'm not so throwing at the dad bod anymore. But that's part of being a weightlifter as well. I'm not necessarily a bodybuilder. I just like lifting big, heavy things. So this is the body that results from that if you do that and nothing else. Anyway, I have also done quite a bit of Olympic lifting over time. Not as much lately as I have in the past. And when I was in college in particular, I was pretty good at it. Again, not like nationally ranked or something like that. Not even good enough to be competitive, but stronger than most people are, right? I think my best ever clean and jerk was 365 pounds. We didn't do kilos back in the day because we weren't legit. We just did pounds. But I was never able to get very good at the snatch. In fact, I was always really bad at the snatch. It was always uncomfortable. It was always really hard. And part of that's just the way my body's shaped. I got long arms and legs and a short torso, which makes it hard to do this snatch. But, man, it's always been a struggle. Now, for the last couple of weeks, I've had this like weird nagging pain in my knee and in my hip. And it's clear that it is related to flexibility and mobility, and that kind of the way that I've been treating my body lately and the stress I've been putting it through and all that kind of stuff, both like going back to school and all that, it all adds up after a while. And I just am not happy with the way my body's feeling, the way my body's moving. And so recognizing that the things that are actually important to me in life, and we'll talk about pivoting on a different episode, but recognizing that the things that are actually important to me in life do not require me to be incredibly strong. I'm never going to be the world's strongest man. I'm never going to compete in weightlifting or anything like that. So recognizing what my realistic goals are, like I want to be able to walk when I'm 50, Someday I'm going to have kids. Hopefully sooner than later. I'm going to get married, fall in love, get married, and have kids. And I want to be able to pick up the kids and play with them. I want to be able to go, to the park and goof around while I shoot baskets in the driveway with them. But I'm not getting any younger. I'm not old by any means. I mean, 28, I'm about to turn 29 is not an old birthday. But if I don't take care of my body now, it's not going to be healthy in the future. And so in order to do that, in order to increase my flexibility and things, I've been getting into Olympic weightlifting again lately and doing a lot less bodybuilding and powerlifting. And that's really uncomfortable for me. Now, the power clean came back pretty fast. I'm by no means an excellent power cleaner, and I hate jerking, so I always do a push press, which is actually kind of impressive if I do say so myself. But that came back pretty quickly. What has not come back quickly at all, and what I maybe never even had, was a snatch. I'm going to put a video down here. This is actually the best the best set of snatches I did. This is the only set of snatches that I did where I wasn't like falling over, or I didn't drop the bar at least once. So this is the last set that I did. It's also by far the best set that I did. And this is after about 45 minutes of work. This is as far as I got as far as flexibility and range of motion goes. And it's not that great of a range of motion and flexibility. It's not as embarrassing as I was hoping for a more embarrassing video, but I didn't film the ones that were bad. So I wasn't going to self-sabotage just for the sake of a video. So this is the video that came out. It's not impressive. It's a tiny little bit of weight. It is almost no weight at all. It's only 40 kilograms, which is like 85 pounds or something like that. Like, I can almost curl that. I probably could curl that, honestly. So it's not a lot of weight to be moving. It's a little embarrassing, frankly, to be doing it in front of the other dudes who are really good at it. There's a lot of guys that lift down in there that are good at the power clean and the snatch, and it's humbling for me to be practicing it. But I recognize how important it is, and I also recognize the challenge of doing hard things. I've gotten really comfortable in the weight room recently. I've been really comfortable in the way I'm working out recently, and I haven't been pushing myself very hard because of it. And that hasn't been good for my health. It hasn't been good for my mind. It hasn't been good for my motivation. It hasn't been good for my sleep, because my body is getting used to being comfortable, and that hurts all those different areas of life. And so, in this particular case, the hard thing that was going to do some good was learning how to do the Olympic lifts again, both clean and jerk or clean and press, I guess, and the snatch. Now, notice that I did not just pick some hard thing and say, I'm going to squat 600 pounds. I looked at my life and said, what do I want to be able to do? What are my goals? What are my goals in life? And what can I do that's going to lead me toward those goals and is going to be difficult and hard? Right? This is going to pay dividends in the long run. It's going to keep me healthy and strong. It's going to actually increase my health. It's going to increase my strength and my flexibility, which is going to give me an opportunity to stay strong and fit over time. It's probably going to change my body composition a little bit, because it's a lot more cardiovascular work than regular weightlifting is. And now I've got something to bond with my friends over. I'm surrounded by dudes that don't lift the style of lifting that I do, and now I'm going to do the style of lifting that they do. So it actually helps me make relationships with those guys as well. There's all kinds of blessings that are a part of it, and on top of it, it's going to be super hard for me because of the way I'm built, because I have very little mobility. It's going to be something that's a challenge. Okay? These are the hard things that we must do. Okay? And I am going to fail a lot in the next couple of weeks and couple of months while I'm getting better at the snatch. Okay? I'm going to fail a lot. I'm going to drop that bar a lot. I'm going to have a lot of bad reps. It's gonna hurt sometimes. It's not gonna be comfortable. It's gonna make me look silly sometimes. I'm not gonna be the stud walking around the weight room, dominating everybody, which I sometimes am, not usually, that I often have been. It's going to be a challenge, and I'm going to fail a lot. And that's hard. It's hard to look at something and say, man, I'm gonna fail a whole bunch real fast. Okay? This morning, on my way into the fitness center, I was genuinely nervous about lifting today, because I didn't know how bad it was going to be, but I had a pretty good idea, and I was pretty sure I was going to do a lot of failing, and that it was going to be very, very, very uncomfortable. And I was right. It was very uncomfortable. It actually wasn't quite as uncomfortable as I thought it was going to be, or as I thought it might be, but it was difficult. It was uncomfortable. It wasn't all that fun. The fun part was the challenge. The fun part was the fact that I didn't know how it was going to end. Right? It's no fun reading a book when you know how the book ends. Okay? It's a good thing in life that we know how the book ends, because it takes the stress off the day-to-day. It's not a good thing in your day-to-day if you know how the book ends all the time, because if you know how the book ends, you're not taking any challenge, you're not taking any risks. And risks involve failure. Now, I do not want you to be okay with just general failure all the time. I don't want you to be a failure. There's a big difference between trying hard things and failing and being a failure. Those are two very different things, right? A person who is a failure because they A, are okay with failing. They've accepted the fact that they will fail and they continue to fail. B, they have not reached for great things and failed forward. And they're complacent about being okay with failing. Oh, that's okay. We're just going to sit there. It's going to be all right. There's a big difference between understanding that failing is a part of the process and being okay with failure and saying, nope, failure's okay with me. It's all good. Right? If you're not actively trying to get better and fail less, I mean, that's what weightlifting is. That's what practicing a sport is. That's what practicing music is. You're learning to fail less. Okay? You're never going to be perfect at anything. So you learn to fail less. But you have to be willing to fail in order to succeed. You're not going to be good at something that you've never failed at. And the people that haven't failed at anything aren't tough. They're weak. They're weak. The people that don't do hard things are weak. The expectations, I talked about this a little bit last week. The expectations for kids these days are way too low. The expectations for all of us are too low. Like the basic expectations for human beings in the world right now are like, don't be a dick. Don't be mean. Particularly for men. It's like, don't rape. Don't abuse. Really? That's the expectation? The expectation for men would be the good thing in your family's life, right? Be the one who lights up a room. Be the reason why, like, be the tool through which God is saving people. Reach for big things. I'm not okay with living a life that's easy all the time. Like, I certainly enjoy my quiet time. I've actually, one of the big things I've been doing this summer so far is intentionally taking quiet time to myself and learning how to relax without like a TV, without my phone, no technology, just relaxing. Sometimes not even reading a book, just learning to be still. Because I've been working a ton this summer. I'm working so much, and putting this on top of all that work, it's it's a lot. Okay? I'm not going to stop, but I need to learn how to be still so that I can utilize the time that I have. I can't be wasting all my time on my phone or on watching TV. If I'm going to do the things I want to do, if I'm going to achieve the things I want to achieve, I have to be able to do hard things over and over and over and over and over again. The secret about doing hard things is the more hard things you do, the easier they become. Hard things become easy, and impossible things become hard. And then those things that used to be impossible, now they're just hard. Eventually those become easy. And the things you never even imagined you could do become the hard thing in front of you. Okay? Life isn't going to get easier just because you do hard things. But it's going to get easier to do hard things if you practice doing hard things over and over. And the truth is, at some point, there's going to be a hard thing that you can't control. There's going to be a disease in your family. There's going to be an injury that sidelines you for all your fun stuff and for work, and you can't work. There's going to be something that comes. There's going to be heartbreak. There's going to be everything. All kinds of things are going to come into your life that you can't control. Okay, but you can control how prepared you are for those tough times. Do hard things, toughen yourself up, learn to do hard things so that when hard things come, you're an oak of righteousness that stands firm in the toughest storms, okay? And learn to do hard things so that you can achieve far more than you imagine, far more than anybody else can imagine. The Lord can use you for far greater things than you ever thought possible, and you can help that process by doing hard things right now. One of my favorite authors talks about the idea that this obviously isn't scriptural, but he has this vision of arriving at the gates of heaven, right? And what we, of course, want to hear is, well done, good and faithful servant, right? And God also says that he has prepared good works in advance for us to do. He has a list of things he wants us to accomplish. What he said is his greatest fear is arriving at the gates of heaven and not being rejected and being sent away by any means, but arriving at the gates of heaven. And instead of hearing, well done, good and faithful servant, the Lord's going to stand there with the list, and he's going to say, oh, you were supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. Why didn't you do those things? And the answer is going to be, well, I want to watch TV. Well, I didn't really feel like it. Well, we don't have a lot of time. Well, it was hard. I didn't really want to. The Lord has put you here for a purpose. He's given you things to do. He has a plan for you to do things. He hasn't put you here for no reason at all. Let the Lord work through you. Learn to do hard things. Toughen yourself up. Toughen your body. Toughen your mind. Be prepared for the great things God has in store for you to do. Go do hard things, fellas. Do it. No excuses. Go to the man that God created you to be. See you next time. Gentlemen, that's the end of the video. That's all we got for you this time. So on behalf of all those involved in creating, editing, producing, and publishing this content, thank you for being a part of the Gird Up family. If you're not listening to the Gird Up podcast yet on whatever platform is your favorite podcast platform, you need to go subscribe right now and start listening today. There you will find over 300 episodes of interviews, man talk, and all kinds of other things, all geared at helping you become a man after God's own heart. It's a great resource. Go use it wisely. We also ask that you would consider supporting Gird Up Ministries by shopping at the store at girdupministries.com, buying a shirt like this one or stickers for the back of your car, your water bottles, whatever. You can support us on Patreon by donating. Just look up Gird Up Ministries there on Patreon. Or you can go to girdupministries.com and buy us a cup of coffee. That's just a one-time $5 donation. Anything you donate goes right back into making content like this for men like you. Make sure you're following us on social media, particularly Facebook and Instagram. Like all of our posts, share them, get the word out to the world that we can and are ready to be men after God's own heart. With all that being said, gentlemen, I love you. I deeply care about you. I hope that this has been a blessing on your journey towards Christian manhood. Now go, gird up, and be the man that God created you to be. We'll see you next time.